Hi everyone, happy to have you here with me once again. Welcome back. Today, as you can see in the title, we're having the update for my Pando's eyeshadows. As always, I'm going to be leaving my rules and the link for the creator's channel down in the description box. But yeah, this is one of my favorite projects here in my YouTube channel, and also it's the video that I enjoy the most watching here in this platform. But I have to admit that we don't have as much progress as I would like to this month. And the reason for that is because last month I filmed the update a little bit late. So we had less time like between updates this month. So yeah, hopefully by next month we'll have a couple of rollouts, at least 5 uses per shadow. But yeah, this month was not great, but I don't want to get too much into like the details and try to get into the like actual update pretty fast, because usually these videos are a little bit long. So before we start, I'll leave the color story that I've been working on over here. I know I forgot to take the picture and put it in the video last month. I'm really sorry, but here is the color story we've been working on. And now we can start talking about the shades that I have used the least to move up to the shades that I have used the most. And also, I don't think we have any pictures of looks that I create in the last month. I've been kind of lazy also doing my makeup, so yeah. Okay, so let's start talking about the shade that I have used the least, and it's the shade that I'm using today, and it's the only time that I have used it. And I'm talking about my shade in my Magic Mini palette. I'm working in the shade Yemoha, or I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. It's the shade over here, and I think with this lighting you can see some brush strokes in the pan, but that's everything because I have only used it once and I used it today. This is not a color that I've been feeling really inspired to reach for. It's kind of a aqua leaning silver, I will call it. It's a silver, but it has a lot of blue on it. And I don't know, it's not the kind of shades that I like to use. I know that this is the season, here we're in winter, so I know this is the season to use it, but I didn't felt inspired to use it in the last month. I'm using it today actually because yesterday I was seeing Legally Blonde, and in that movie that is from the early 2000s, they're using a lot of silvers, a lot of like light blues and that kind of stuff, so I felt kind of inspired, but that's the reason why I use it today. And I kind of like the look that I have today. I feel like it's really 90s, early 2000, but that was kind of the idea. But yeah, since I'm not having pictures for this video, if you want to look it closer, here it is. But yeah, this is the first shade. We still have 24 more uses to go, but I will say that maybe we will be able to hit pan on it before the 25 uses, I think at least. The next shade I have only used twice. It's another shade that I rolled in last month, and it's the shade Solitaire from my Making Mobs palette. It's a mauve color, a light mauve color. It's a matte, it's nothing really special, but I have this color story over here that I create. I'm missing two shades, I don't know why. But I have this color story that makes me feel really inspired for these kind of colors. So I thought it was going to be easier for me to reach for the shade Solitaire, since I've been feeling really inspired by these kind of color stories, but I only use it twice, so that's not really good. Probably this is another shade that I won't be able to hit pan on in 25 uses or 30, and probably in 40 either, because Colourpop shades can be really hard pressed or really powdery, and in this case this is kind of hard pressed and doesn't have as much kickback as other shades. But yeah, only use it twice. I don't think I have any looks, but I use it like the first transition shade when I'm doing a mauve color in my eyes. So yeah, that is the second shade that it's going to stay in this project. The third shade I have used 3 times and that is my Super Chalk Shadow in Bay. I was really scared when I rolled in this color because last month I decided that every month I want to be working in a super chalk shadow until I hit pan on it. And the first super chalk shadow that I roll in, it's the hardest that I could have ever gotten because it's almost a black. But now I realize it's not really a black, it's something more like a really, really dark purple, like an eggplant, I think is the like the color name that you use in English. But I'll definitely leave close-ups over here so you can see it more clearly. But look at this shade. I think there you can see that it has a little bit of purple on it. And I have to admit that it's a really beautiful shade. The only way that I have used it, the 3 times that I have used it, is as an eyeliner. It's what I'm doing today. I'm using Yemoja and Bay in my eyes. That's everything that I have right now. And for the same reason, since I'm working on it as an eyeliner and I'm using a pretty small brush, you can see a good dip on it. I will say if I use it another 5 times maybe, we'll have a considerable amount of pan. We'll have a pan big enough, I think so. The next shade I also used 3 times, and I think this is the second month that this shade has been in. It comes from my Focus palette, the Sweetest palette from Beauty Creation. I'm trying to hit pan on all the shades in this palette, and right now I'm working in the shade Sweetheart over here. As I said, I used it 3 times in the last month for a total of 12 uses, I think, which is pretty good. It should take me, I think it's going to take me longer to hit pan in this shade than in this shade over here. This is the first shade that I work in this palette, and I think it took me 17 or 19 uses, and I don't think I'll hit pan in 5 extra uses. I use a considerable amount of product each time that I use it, because I have to admit that the shimmers in this palette are kind of lackluster. I prefer the mattes, to be honest, but at the same time the mattes are pretty warm, and this is a cooler shade, so I don't have a lot to work around in this palette with that shade. The last 2 shades are shades that I was kind of hoping to be able to meet my 25 uses goal before this update, but as I said, I've been kind of lazy, so we didn't meet the goal. But let's start talking about my Nude Light palette from Huda Beauty. I think this is the 4th, maybe 3rd or 4th, I will say, the 4th month that this palette has been in this project, and I've been working in the 7th shade. And you can see clearly, I love this lighting, you can see it so much clearly, like the dips. But you can see the dip that we have in this eyeshadow. In the last month, I used it 4 times for a total of 15 uses, so we still need 10 more uses to reach my goal. But this is something that if I haven't hit pan on it after the 25 uses, I'm going to keep in the project because it can be that much further, like the pan. I have heard that the Huda Beauty pans, at least in the smaller palettes, are not that deep. But at the same time, this is a color that doesn't really work if I apply it with a brush. I need to use my finger. I don't know if I have tried to wet the brush with this shade. I should try that. Maybe that way we're going to go a little bit faster. But the 15 uses that I have in this shade, I have applied with my finger, and for that reason I cannot like really focus in one point. The dip is quite like large, and for that reason it's not as deep as it could be. Again, I don't know if I'm explaining myself. I'm hoping that you're getting the point. And the last shade that we have used 5 times. I have in this magnetic palette over here, but it's the shade Uncut from Colourpop in the palette Play Jewel. It's this shade over here, a really easy shade for me to use. I have used it 17 times so far in this project. I still need 8 more uses, and this is something that we're not going to be able to hit pan on. Again, I will say that this will take me at least, how much? 40, 50 uses to be able to hit pan on, because after the 17 uses, there is a dip, and I think you can see it. Yeah, I think you can see it with this lighting. Yeah, you can see a little bit of the dip, but it's quite small considering how much I have used it. And Colourpop pans are not especially shallow. So yeah, this is something that I'm not expecting to hit pan. I would love to, but I know it's not going to happen. So yeah, that's everything. Those are all the shades that I've been working on in the last month. I think last month we should have at least 2 rollouts and hopefully 2 pans, because probably in these 2 I will be able to meet my goal. And maybe in this one, do you think it's possible for me to hit 3 pans in July? Let me know. But yeah, that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any ideas of how to create new looks with this color story over here. And also let me know if you're doing this project, how are you doing? Which is the most challenging shade that you're working on right now? I would love to know. I will say my most challenging shade for me in this rotation is the Gemoya shade, the silver. But yeah, that's everything. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye.